Hi everybody! Welcome to a new year on You Tips for You. I want to thank you so much for all of your support last year and tell you that I have a lot more helpful tips coming your way this year on You Tips for You. So please be sure to subscribe. Now if you haven't made your New Year's resolutions yet, I have several tips for you, 8 to be exact, that you can consider for your New Year's resolution. I love the new year. I love the feeling of possibilities and change and how you can try to change your fate a little bit because it gives you a fresh start and a reason to try to do things a different way. So let's get started. Okay, so the first tip I have for you, my suggestion for your New Year's resolution, if you like, would be to add green tea to your diet. Green tea is a very powerful antioxidant. It contains an antioxidant called EGCG, and it's been proven to fight cancer, many forms of cancer. Helps your heart, protect your heart and your arteries from oxidative effects that can harm your heart. It's a great way to add something healthy to your diet. And I wanted to share with you something that I have that you might find helpful. I got this at Trader Joe's, and it's instant green tea. Now I also use the green tea bags. I like the caffeine-free, and just be sure when you read your box of your tea bags, and it should tell you that it's still got the full antioxidant power in it. Sometimes when they decaffeinate something, they remove some of the natural properties that you want in the tea. But most of them now have a good method of doing it to retain the antioxidants. But this is not caffeine-free, but I use this sporadically throughout the week, and it's an instant green tea. And you just take a spoonful of it, you can put it in a cup of water, you can even put it in your coffee. If you don't want to give up a cup of coffee to switch to green tea, maybe you can try putting some in your coffee. I've not done that. I'm not a coffee drinker, but you may want to try that yourself. Anyway, just to let you know it's out there, it's quick and easy, it's a way to get it without having to brew the tea for yourself, okay? And my second tip for you for the new year would be to add more fermented foods to your diet. Fermented foods, also known as probiotics, are really wonderful for building a powerful immune system. And you're probably familiar with yogurt, things like that. They're full of friendly bacteria, which is very beneficial to your digestive tract, to your stomach, as well as just your overall health. So foods like cheese, which you can add in moderation to your diet, sauerkraut, kefir. I do have a video up on making smoothies with kefir. You can just drink it plain, but at the end of the video, I will refer you to that video so you can go take a look at it. It's real fun, and it gets you acquainted with kefir. Of course, yogurt, miso, tempeh, those are just, and buttermilk. Those are some of the foods that contain, that go through the fermentation process, making those friendly bacteria foods for your body. Okay? So keep that in mind. And while we're on the subject of adding things to your diet, there is another thing I would like to suggest for the third thing, and that would be omega-3 fatty acids. They are very beneficial for your health. They help lower your triglycerides, they're good for your heart, again for your arteries, and they do is they reduce inflammation in the body. So anybody who's got arthritis and aches and pains, joint pains, things like that, really helps. The omega-3s are a wonderful, healthy substance that you should be taking in as much as possible. Now you can find omega-3s in deep northern cold water fish, as well as sardines and mackerel. There are some vegetarian sources as well. Flaxseed is one of them. You'll always want to make sure, though, that you have, if you buy ground flaxseed, it's already ground, that it's been kept in a refrigerator because it can go rancid very easily. And if you buy the seeds, they should also be purchased from a refrigerated case, and then you'll just grind up as much as you need that you want to put on your cereal or yogurt or whatever. But flaxseed is a great way. Oh, and walnuts. Walnuts are very high in omega-3s. I have them all the time with my breakfast cereal in the morning. I love walnuts. I love nuts in general. With the fish, I do eat a lot of fish, not, you know, I would say every day, but several times a week I do try to have fish. Salmon is a wonderful choice if you like that, but be leery, of course, of the deep sea water fish that can contain mercury or PCBs, things like tuna, swordfish, cod, things that are, very large fish with large body fat content that can store the mercury and the PCBs. You'll want to make sure that you limit your intake of that and stick to the fish that you know you can have unlimited amounts of. I love flounder. I eat a lot of that. And that has, you can have an unlimited amount of flounder and not harm your body. So, something to keep in mind. My next tip for you is to try to eliminate the stress in your life. That can be easier said than done. I know. We've all got stress. Just, getting out to work, doing all the things we need to do, schoolwork, etc. can be very stressful. But I do have a suggestion for you to try to diminish that stress a little bit. It's how I stay organized and accomplish all the things that I have to in a day. I have children, I have things, I have projects and stuff. And that is to maintain a schedule to try to eliminate your procrastination. Because when you procrastinate, and whatever it is, if it's a homework assignment or if it's something that you know you need to do around your house, the longer you procrastinate, actually the more stress you build up. Because just knowing that you have to do it constantly just depletes you of energy. And you just feel like, oh, I just don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. Well, you know what? Just do it. Get it done, get it out of the way, do it early so the pressure is not on you to finish it in a timely fashion, and you'll see you'll be much less stressed out. There's also other ways we know to reduce stress: meditation, exercise. Those are very important. But I think that we do it to ourselves with the procrastination, putting things off. A lot of people write to me and ask me, especially high school students, college students, they tell me they don't have time for exercise. And that's my next point. I want to tell you to walk. Walk is wonderful. Walking is a terrific way to get out, exercise, get some fresh air. You don't have to be in a gym. Everyone can do it. It's free. You can do as much or as little as you would like. And it's something that you should do quite a few times a week. Just take a walk. It stretches your legs if you have a sedentary job. Go for a walk at lunchtime. Back to my high school students. They ask me, well, how do you fit it in? Well, I'm thinking, you have to try to make the time. And that's the only thing we can do. I mean, if it's important enough to you, you've got to fit it in. And I remember what I used to do. And I did this in high school and I did it in college. The only time sometimes for me to exercise was first thing in the morning because of the schedule that I kept. And then after school, I would go to work and things like that. Then it was time for homework. And if I knew I had one of those days where I wasn't going to get to exercise any time later in the day, then I would do it in the morning. So I would get up, 6 o'clock. I'd head out, start walking and jogging, and the sun would come up. It's just a wonderful time to be out in the world. It gives you energy for the rest of the day. It's done. You got it out of your way, and you know what? Your metabolism is revving all day. You've just raised it up. You're energetic. You're warm now. Start off with a little walking, and then take it as high as you want. But it's a way to fit it in. Another thing I used to do is if I had to study or read when I was in college, I brought the books with me. I went to the gym. There was a gym there on campus. I sat down, opened my book, and I read I read my book and studied, highlighted things on a stationary bike. So I made do. I mean, it's not the most ideal thing because, of course, you're doing two things at once. But I got really good at it, and I still now read when I exercise on the Stairmaster or on the bike. And sometimes people come over to me and say, well, how can you do that? Don't you get dizzy or confused? And I say, no, it's the most natural thing for me. And honestly, it keeps me on the machines because I think I would just get bored. Now we have little TV screens on our machines and stuff, so that can be a distraction for me now, and I watch TV or whatever. But I still enjoy reading. Most of all, it's the time that I get to spend. I don't get to read that much when I'm home finally doing a million things except, when I really have to set the time aside. So that's a time for me to do it. So, make time for your exercise. Everyone, please consider making an effort to walk this year. Please, whatever your weight or shape, everybody can walk. Start small, if you need to, and don't force yourself if you're getting over an injury, but just get out there and do it. So, of course, I have a hair tip for you. And my hair tip for the new year is to try to minimize the usage of so many products on your hair. I mean, shampooing and conditioning is great. Having a leave-in conditioner when you're done, for the ends is wonderful, especially if you use heat styling on your hair. But if you want your hair to be healthy, try at least once a week, maybe on the weekends when you're home and you don't have to worry about, having your hair styled a certain way. Let it air dry. Wash your hair, condition it, and just leave it. Comb it out, let it air dry. It's the best thing for your hair. If you live in a warm climate, let it air dry out in the sun, get some highlights. Summertime you can do that too. In the winter it's just so dry and you've got heat on all the time. That coupled with the heat styling that we do and the products that we use on our hair, day in and day out, I think it's very, very damaging. So try to get back to nature as much as you can, and if that means letting your hair air dry as much as possible, I think that's a great tip for you for the new year. And I've been doing it myself just to give my hair a break from the blow dryer. And if you've looked at my videos, I try not to blow dry my hair till it's bone dry or that often, because I don't want to damage my hair. When you're trying to grow long hair and you want to keep your long hair, you really have to minimize that type of usage and styling to minimize the breakage so that your hair can stay long. Otherwise, it'll just keep breaking off. You'll get split ends. So that's my hair tip for the year. So 2 more tips. 1 more food tip for you. And that would be to eat more homemade foods. And people think that, well, homemade foods, it takes time and energy, and I don't have the time. But you know what? You really do, because here's what you do. It's better for you than processed foods. And my suggestion is try to eliminate those processed foods as much as possible. Try to make enough of something that you have leftovers. You're going to have to get into the habit of liking leftovers. I love them. I love making up a whole big tray of chicken parmesan, say, and keeping it in the refrigerator. And then, when I come home from the gym or the kids come home from school and everybody's hungry, you whip it out, you make some fresh pasta, it's there, you make a salad, whatever. You've got the main thing made. So my suggestion to you is make ahead of time enough food that you have things prepared that you can come running to when you get home, and you don't have to say, all right, let me just quickly order pizza or grab some Chinese, because when you make your own food, you're actually controlling the amount of salt you use, the amount of oil you use. It's much healthier for you. And if you've got children that go to school and you give them cold cuts, or maybe you let them buy at school, well, I know from my own kids, the food at school, they're always complaining. It's greasy, it's this, it's salty, they don't like it, whatever. And then I don't want to give them cold cuts all the time, so I make a bunch of chicken cutlets, whatever, and I cut it up, make them a nice wedge, put some cheese in it, who likes lettuce, whatever, make a nice sandwich, and they go off to school with something healthy. So kids out there, if you're listening to this, share it with your parents. I'm sure they'd love to do that for you if you ask, because they want their children to eat healthy. We all do. And just, takes a little planning ahead sometimes. Just cooking in bulk, keeping it around. I sometimes will steam a bunch of broccoli, keep that in the refrigerator, then I can have that periodically. It's there for me. Sometimes I'm so hungry that I don't even want to take the time to cook something up because I've been running around all day and I haven't eaten but an orange or something, little snacks in between. So this is a good way for you to maintain your diet. And my last and final tip for the new year for you to consider would be for those of you who are looking for a change in your personal life. For perhaps you're looking to fall in love. You're looking for that special relationship. And whatever your age, we all have the same feelings. We want to connect with someone. We want to meet that special person. We don't want to be alone. Well, my tip for you is you've got to make yourself open to that suggestion. So open yourself up to the possibility. And by that I mean prepare for it. When we are prepared for chance encounters or just meeting people wherever we are, and it doesn't matter where you go, change your routine. I mean, if you always go to the same coffee house, go to a different one. Open up your horizons a little bit. Try something different. You'll meet different people. And I'm not saying you have to talk to everyone around you, but if you're open to being friendly, then you'll be surprised how many people that you will interact with in a given day. Smile. Smiling is a wonderful thing. If you go to a gym and you walk by someone, well, you're all friends there. I mean, you may not know the person, but if you pass someone, smile. Not a big, gigantic, teethy smile, but just a little, like a little acknowledgement. It brings about a good aura for you. It helps bring you out of yourself, because if you're introverted about yourself, you'll be introverted about meeting someone, and you won't bring people towards you. There have been behavioral studies, which is very interesting, that say when you are mentally prepared for good fortune, say, or something lucky to happen to you, or a chance encounter, and you're just hoping for it or expecting it or wanting it or saying, this is going to be my year, I'm making a change, I'm going to get out there, I'm going to try different things, I'm going to leave myself open to chance encounters, things like that, that they actually happen. You can take two people and have them, walk down the same road, and there could be $10 sitting on the road, and one will just walk right by and not see it, and another one will just say, ooh, look, $10, and pick it up. You want to be that person, the one who's aware of what's going on around them, smiling at people, maybe chatting a little bit if you're online somewhere at CVS or at the supermarket. It's just a kind of a way to bring yourself out of yourself. It's almost practice for just talking to someone. Striking up a conversation with a total stranger where you're both involved in the same task brings you out of yourself. So that's what I want to impart to you. That this could be your year if you help it along. Nobody is just lucky. They are open to the possibility. So you be open to the new possibilities in this new year. Because I always feel like whenever there's a new year, that we're just, the year is waiting for possibilities. In fact, you go to the same place after New Year's, like, the day after New Year's Day, say, and you go out and you go to the same store, but everything feels different. It's a new year, and everybody's friendlier, and they've left it all behind them, whatever was bugging them in the old year. So make new plans and make new hopes and make them happen, okay? Make them happen for yourself. That's the mantra here on U-Tips for You, because you can make it happen for yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my 8 helpful tips for your New Year's resolutions, ideas for you to think about, mull them over. Thanks so much for viewing. Please subscribe. I have lots more to come. It's going to be a great year. Lots more helpful tips, things to help you lead a better quality life. Thanks again. Bye-bye now.